Well, good afternoon, everyone. I think we're ready to get started right now. It's a really exciting day that's finally here. We really have a great backdrop for the comments and for the bill signing, because what was able to be accomplished through the efforts of OSF Healthcare and a lot of heavy lifting by, can you hear us in back now? A lot of heavy lifting by our representatives down in Springfield. We were able to get this Senate bill passed at the very last minute of the session, but we're glad to have had that happen. It's my pleasure to welcome everybody here. There is a list of elected officials that we'd like to recognize very quickly. I hope we don't miss anybody. From Congressman LaHood's office, we have Brad Stotler and J.D. D'Alfonso. From our state representatives, Mike Halpin from Rock Island, Mike Eunice, Senator Chuck Weaver, Senator Dave Kaler, Representative Jahan Gordon Booth, and also State Representative Ryan Spain. From the Peoria City Council, we have Councilwoman Denise Moore. This is the first district that we're standing in, and that's Denise's district, so we mentioned her first. We have at-large council members Zach Euler, and we also have 5th District Councilman Dennis Sear and 3rd District Councilman Tim Riggenbach. I hope I didn't miss any other elected officials that are here. Right now, I would very much like to introduce the governor needs no introduction. Everybody knows who he is. But in Peoria, everybody knows who Sister Judith Ann is. You don't go anywhere, and I'm like, do I use the chairperson of OSF Healthcare? Do I use Mother Superior? Do I use the boss, which is probably pretty appropriate? So Sister Judith Ann likes the boss, so please welcome the boss from OSF, Sister Judith Ann.
Can you hear me? I'll stand on my tiptoes. What I'd like to do is also to welcome all of you to this very, very special event, because it's going to be a gift to the community, but believe me, a wonderful gift to our OSF family that's going to help enable us to serve this community even better and more effectively. But like we like to open anything of major importance, is to begin with prayer. So I'd like to offer a prayer. God, our wonderful and good Father, I ask your blessing on this exciting project. I hope that's not the boss telling me to stop. We ask your blessing on this exciting project that has taken a wonderful step forward today, and that will have a significant and positive impact on downtown Peoria. Our sisters in OSF Healthcare are returning to our roots where we first began, just 7 blocks from this site over 141 years ago. Please bless all those who have brought us to this wonderful point and who will be working closely with our OSF family to bring this project to completion and make it a reality as a gift to this community. Continue to guide us so that we will make best choices possible as we move forward to meet the needs of this wonderful community and all those that we have the privilege to serve. May all we do, most wonderful God, give you honor and praise and serve your people as you desire and as they deserve. In your Son, Jesus' name, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister. we're very fortunate to have our Central Illinois delegation, Senator Weaver, Senator Kaler, Representative Jahan Gordon Booth, and Representative Spain here, and we all know how hard they work for us down in Springfield to get a lot of good things done. But it really is my honor and privilege first to recognize the person that really did a lot of heavy lifting to help us get this done, and that is Representative Jahan Gordon Booth.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am, oh Lord. I am so honored to be able to stand with you on this ever important day as we're signing a historic piece of legislation that I was absolutely honored to have the ability to carry in the Illinois House. You know, if we take a step back for a moment and we think about some of the stories that they have tried to tell about Peoria, particularly over the last couple of years, I just refuse to believe that we are who they say we are. We have our own story to tell. And just by looking at the group that's here today, it is indicative of who we are as a community. We're strong, we're unified, and we're better together. Again, we have our own story to tell, and this legislation, among many of the other things that we do, is indicative of not just the work that we've done, but the work that we still have yet to do. When they try to count us out with whether it's a story that's saying something that isn't positive about Peoria, they try to count us out. But when they try to count us out, what they also miss is they miss our spirit. They miss our heart. And when you think about our placement geographically and where we are in the state of Illinois, we're right there at the heart. And when you think about where we are in the country, we are smack dab in the middle of the country, in the middle of this state, and we are the heart of this state. We are also the heart of this country. And if we continue to work in the fashion that we're working, collaboratively, together, we can do big things. This is an example of something that we were able to do together. Although my name was on the bill, I was constantly going across the aisle talking to Ryan. Ryan, you go take care of this person. You go take care of this person. I'll take care of this one. And that's how we're able to get things done. Senator Kaler and Senator Weaver, they do the same thing in the Senate. And I couldn't be more proud to work with the team that we have in Springfield. I'm so pleased that Governor Rauner is here today to sign this legislation in the 1st District, in the 92nd District, which is not only going to spawn significant economic development here in the city of Peoria, but all across the state of Illinois. And when we think about what historic tax credits have done historically around this country for the last 30 years, historic tax credits have been the reason why over 42,000 buildings in this country have been redeveloped and refurbished. The historic tax credits is the reason why $130 billion has been invested back in towns just like Peoria. 2.5 million jobs have been created because of historic tax credits that allow men and women in organized labor to continue to do the hard work that they do every single day on behalf of our communities. I also could not be more proud of the intention that OSF has made to this community and the commitment to ensuring that the work that's done on this project will reflect the diversity of this community. Please give OSF a big hand clap. Because they stepped up and showed leadership at a time when we needed it most in this community. And I want to thank Sister Judith Than and CEO Schiefling for being willing to do not just what was right, but what was exactly what Peoria needed at such an important time. So I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for coming out on this beautiful, sunny Thursday afternoon to share in this historic moment with us as we move forward. And the goal of this, obviously, is to spawn even more economic development in Peoria, but to bring back an additional spirit of pride to this community that I have, that so many of you have, but we're also going to instill in our children, like my daughter who is here today, that I'm so proud that the work that we're doing right now in this moment 20, 30 years from now, we will see the fruits of that labor, and we can all be proud that we did it together. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Booth. And now please help me welcome our state senator, Senator Chuck Weaver.
Hey, Senator Kaler, would you go ahead and go here? I'm introducing the governor.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm Dave Kaler. I'm not Chuck Weaver. He's got more hair than I have. Thank you all for being here. You know, Jahan mentioned about how we all work together as a legislative team here. Governor, here's some trivia that if anybody ever asks you the question, you know the answer then. What is the only city in Illinois that has 4 legislative representatives from the city? It's Peoria. Because Jahan and I and Chuck and Ryan all live in the city of Peoria. We're the only city in the whole state that has 4 representatives from 4 different caucuses. And to think about that, and what the difference it made, you're looking at it right here, is this museum. And a lot of other projects. But we're here today to talk about the exciting resurgence of what is going to be the new Peoria, the new downtown and the new central Illinois. Because, and I have to tell you a little story about the legislation. It was mentioned that it passed at the very end of the session this last spring. And I was constantly texting Jahan and Ryan. I said, we're not leaving Springfield until this is passed, I assure you. In fact, I told President Cullerton, I said, I can't go home if we don't pass this legislation. So we stayed there, and it was, I think, one of the last bills called, but it flew through and without any problem. But we all remember not too long ago when Caterpillar announced their world headquarters being built here, and how excited we were and how this was going to have such a great impact on Peoria and Central Illinois, and then how disappointed we were. Well, you know what? We move on. And I was telling the Sister Judith Ann that this is the beginning of the resurgence, because we have to reinvent who we are.
That's right. And
thank goodness that we have OSF to lead that charge, because this is going to be good for OSF. It's going to be good for this community. It's going to be good for the jobs that it's going to produce. And I say we're just at our beginning. So thank you all, and thank you, OSF.
Thanks, Senator. One of the leaders at OSF that really had the vision of what this project would mean, not just for Peoria, but specifically for downtown Peoria and the energy that it will put back into our downtown, was CEO Bob Searing. And we could not be more thankful to Bob for his vision and for just the ability that he had to stay with this project. It would have been pretty easy to find a greenfield somewhere to have these 700 or so people working, but their continued commitment to Peoria, to the heart of Peoria, to downtown Peoria, only a few blocks from their campus, we'll be thanking Bob Searing and his team and Sister Judith Ann for a long time. So please help me welcome CEO Bob Searing.
Thank you for those comments, Mayor. It's certainly very gracious of you, and really it's wonderful to be part of this city. This is an important day for Peoria. It's an important day for OSF Healthcare, no doubt. We would have long loved to have our mission partners co-located together in a single building, and that's what we're able to accomplish. But it's also a very important day for Peoria. And I'm not going to try to compete with Congresswoman Booth to try to get that level of enthusiasm and that strength in her passion, because she certainly has all of that. But I see some of that same passion in the sisters. It's a little quieter, but just as much strength in the sisters. You go back 141 years is when they first came to Peoria. And think about what Peoria was like 141 years ago for 5 sisters to come here and to establish healthcare in this community, and what they had to do, what they had to strive to meet the needs of the communities back then. And 141 years later, they're doing the same things. I appreciate again the mayor's comments, but it's always the sisters' vision. It's always the sisters' commitment. It's always working closely with the sisters, as we get the pleasure of doing day in and day out, that really helps drive OSF as an organization. So that vision is so critical. I certainly want to thank State Representative Jahan Gordon Booth, again, as a sponsor for this bill. Critically important. Dave Kaler as well, as being a strong supporter. Chuck Weaver as well, again, being a strong supporter. It is this bill that is going to be critical as we continue to move forward. And of course, no bill goes on to be a law without Governor Rauner's signature. And so again, my thanks to the governor for coming here today, certainly to Peoria, but also with that important signature, we can really look to this bill becoming law and then helping us move forward. So why is the legislation important? And again, important to both OSF and the city. Well, first, it strengthens the river-edged redevelopment zone. And that's vitally important for the city and for OSF as a recruiter, a big recruiter of talent, clinical talent, administrative talent, and we recruit that talent from across this country. And a vibrant Peoria is crucial to our ability to continue to recruit top talent to this area and to help us grow. It does improve the value of the historic tax credits. A building like this, a 114-year-old building that's going to require significant work, is difficult to take on that project without the value of the historic tax credits. So this bill signed into law helps strengthen the historic tax credit in Illinois, and that's important. And it offers greater flexibility. Some of the challenges for this project is it will happen in various phases. The current law doesn't really accommodate that very well. This new law strengthens that by providing additional flexibility, and that flexibility is vitally important. So again, the signing of this bill brings us one step closer. There's always steps in any process. This is a crucial one, a very important one. In fact, some of the work has already begun, you just don't get to see it. It's all in and around the design work. It's in and around some of the work that happens in the interior to focus on cleaning up and really preparing for that construction work that we hope will start later on this year. We have some work to do with the City Council. Obviously, again, a huge project like this requires the support of the City Council, and we have no doubt that as we move forward, they will be a crucial partner in this development. The impact on this project for downtown. It is downtown Peoria. We also look at it as central Illinois. OSF, this is our headquarters. This is our ministry headquarters. But OSF facilities stretch from east to west. And so it's important for all of our facilities as we work closely with them. Total project will run about $90 million. So that's an important work project. Many construction jobs will be part of that. And again, crucial parts of that effort. There'll be 700 to 800 mission partners, OSF employees, who are working here downtown. Again, we view that as crucially important for the ongoing development of the city, but also for OSF, as we can bring those mission partners to work in more collaborative space. I said earlier, it helps improve our ability to recruit and retain top talent. And as OSF and as our vision statement states, we're really looking at being part of the driving force behind the transformation of healthcare. We can't do that without top talent that exists here in this community, top talent that we hope to continue to bring to this community to really help us with the transformation of healthcare. And then hopefully it'll draw visitors. Not only visitors to OSF, we'll have many that come in here for business reasons, but we hope many others that will come and enjoy and stay. Come here to visit and spend weekends here, because it's a wonderful community. It really has so much to offer that people often don't get to see. And so we hope by attracting more and more people to this community, they will uncover that jewel and they will spend more time here. So again, my thanks to all of the legislators who were involved. My thanks again to the governor for coming here to sign it. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. It's good when there's a change in the lineup to have a position player that's really adaptable to that, like Senator Weaver is. So we had just a little adjustment in the lineup, but now please help me welcome our Senator Chuck Weaver.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and great to be here today. I am as enthusiastic, but I can never be as enthusiastic as John Morris. Thank you for hosting us, and everyone here from Peoria knows what I mean by that. So thank you for your enthusiasm in hosting us. I want to go back a little bit because, you know, we're talking about a team effort here in Springfield, but really this all began about 9 months ago from something Ryan and I were working on, and Mike Freilinger's back here, and also Bob Howard helped us with this, and Tom Berwinger. And they were having some problems with their historic tax credits. And they called, and there was a set of things kind of sitting on a desk in Springfield, and we kind of helped move that through. And in the process, we found out there were some problems with how the historic tax credit worked. And I told Mike, I said, I'm going to try this process of citizen legislating. Little teamwork here. You understand it better than I do. You had passion for it, and you came forward, and we met with Sean McCarthy and also Brad Teets, and they made a commitment to you to make some changes. And we got to where the tax credit works differently with how it moves forward. We changed the auditing process, so it's still good for taxpayers, but a little bit easier to accomplish, and a few other things. But I want to thank you for the work you've done to get us to this point. You can thank him for me as well. Just a lot of changes in the law that are going to make this more effective. We're really excited about that, and it's so important. But I think the thing that we all have to understand is legislators can kind of put structure around things and put things in place, but if it's not for business, in this case OSF, that steps up, we don't really have much in our state, and we need to understand that. And I segue to that because I've got the governor behind me. And the one thing he has fought for harder than anybody over the last 3 years is the importance of understanding, just like Mike and the group of businessmen that worked on this a while back, OSF and the business people coming forward to do this now. If we don't have great businesses in our state, we can never employ the people we need to employ. And Governor, I've watched you operate for the last 3 years. You're the hardest working person I know. And this man has been in our city more times than I can count. I remember about a 6-week period where he was in Peoria 5 times. I don't think we've ever seen that before, but the energy you put behind your work and your willingness to step up and support this is greatly appreciated. Would you please thank the governor of the state of Illinois, Governor Bruce Rauner.
Thank you. Today is a great day for the people of Peoria and the people of Illinois. It is a great day. Today we take a major step forward on economic growth, on downtown revitalization, on creating great careers in every neighborhood, in every community. Today is great progress. And this shows what we can do when we come together to solve problems and overcome challenges. Democrat, Republican, community leaders, elected officials, religious leaders, everyone coming together to get something done. Today, we create the incentives to help our businesses grow and expand and invest and create good paying construction jobs and great long-term careers in healthcare and in technology and the broad sectors of our economy. There is no harder working group of people in America than the people of Peoria. This is the greatest workforce in the world right here in the community of Peoria. And I'm proud to be here a lot. I love Peoria. It's just an hour from my new home in Springfield. I love living in Springfield. But you know what? Peoria is the heart of Illinois, as was very eloquently said. It is the heart of Illinois. And it's an honor to be here and work for you. The community spirit that the people of Peoria have, the coming together, caring for each other, working together to solve problems and overcome challenges, inspirational for the rest of the United States. Peoria is the heart, what drives progress and a better life. I'm deeply proud to be here with you today to celebrate. I'm proud. I wanted to make sure I came here to sign this bill right here with you so we can truly celebrate. I want to commend the members of the General Assembly, Democrats and Republicans, who worked hard to get this done. I'll give a shout out to members of my administration. This bill was not easy. There are a bunch of moving parts in it. There are a bunch of things that needed to be added. Now we have much more flexibility. We now have carry forwards for the tax credit. We have multi-year ability, much more flexibility, more power. This is going to help downtown Peoria boom in the coming years. This is also going to help other communities around the state, Rockford, Aurora, Elgin, East St. Louis, and now, because of the flexibility in this bill, it can be applied in many other communities wherever the Illinois Historic Preservation Agency says there's a historically significant building. Give this credit available, make sure that developers and construction folks can come in and make the economics work to revitalize many of our older downtowns that have wonderful history and tradition, but need a little extra boost in their competitiveness. Because we have this, and it's especially great in our bicentennial year. 200 years of fantastic history. Now we can preserve more of that wonderful history, but make sure it's economically competitive and vibrant and growing. This bill is great progress. I commend everybody on the team for getting it done. God bless you all. And one more round of applause for OSF Healthcare and all the great they would do. Great community leaders, great advocates for quality of life and high quality health care. And now it's my deep honor to sign this great piece of legislation. Thank you. This one's perfect. I get one pen per letter this
Thank you, Governor. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Where to go? This is too
Well, today is a great day for the people of Peoria and people all across the state of Illinois. Today, we create tax incentives to invest in downtown and restore and revitalize our historically significant buildings. This legislation was negotiated by members of our administration and members of the General Assembly on a bipartisan basis. It passed at the very end of the General Assembly, and now we will bring more jobs to downtown Peoria, more construction, more businesses to invest and move in, and we'll also bring this across the state of Illinois and other towns that need the revitalization. So it's a great day today. We're honored to be here to celebrate with the people of Peoria and sign this very significant piece of legislation for economic growth. Now, going forward, we need to work together to reduce the overall tax burden, bring down taxes broadly, and reduce the regulatory burden, and we can get Peoria booming with economic growth along with the rest of the state. And that's what we'll be working for this fall and for the years to come.
Well, Governor, give us some idea of how this evolved, because River Edge was a pilot program to start. So what is it numbers-wise that convinced you that the system works here? Yes, so when this original River's Edge tax credit came into place, it really only applied in 5 communities: Peoria, Rockford, Elgin, Aurora, and East St. Louis, and only right on the water and only with certain buildings, which helped downtown Peoria, helped other communities,
communities. And you can see where the buildings that got this credit, they were able to be revitalized, and it made a difference and created jobs. And what we realized was if we made the program more flexible, we could do it over multiple years for the same area of development rather than for 1 year. And we allowed the tax credit to be carried forward for 5 years to give the investors and the construction firms more flexibility on the timing of their projects, that we could have a far greater impact. And we also realized there were many historic buildings across every type of community, not only 5 and not only on certain rivers. So we expanded it statewide, and now it's being managed by the Department of Natural Resources and the Illinois Historic Preservation Agency rather than only the Department of Commerce and only for 5 towns. So we really think this is going to be a major economic engine for communities everywhere.
No caps. I'm not losing anything by competing against the whole state rather than just the 5 communities?
Well, now wherever there is a need for economic revitalization and wherever there is a historic building that should be preserved, the tax credit will apply.
But we aren't capping at X million a year that are eligible?
There is a cap of, I believe it's $15 million per year.
Did that expand along with the expansion to the rest of the state?
Yes. Yep.
So why are you here today, not in Granite City? We're just keeping it on topic.
Well, I'm here because this is a very significant piece of legislation that passed at the end of the General Assembly, and this was scheduled a long time ago. And today my day is very full. I was in Chicago and Itasca and Rockford, and I'm heading back to Springfield tonight.
So you didn't think it was important to support the president in Granite City today at all?
Well, what's important is that we support economic growth for the entire state of Illinois, and that's what this legislation does. We need to bring down tax burden in our communities and grow more jobs, and that's what we're here to do right now.
All right, thank you, everybody.
You talked about
Thanks.
reducing regulation,
Thank you very
Governor.
much.
Thanks.
Isn't it important to talk to the president about that?
I got your blue down. I sure did. Yeah, nice to see you.
She's right.